Border battle between Chicago and Texas is getting downright ugly. Texas sent its second busload of migrants to the Windy City this weekend and is showing no signs of stopping. Mayor Lori Lightfoot first accused Governor Greg Abbott of racism, and now she's attacking his faith.
He is manufacturing a human crisis, and it makes no sense to me. I think it's decidedly unpatriotic and un-American. I understand the pressures that the people of Texas and some of the other border states are under. We see that on a daily basis. But the thing to do is not this. He professes to be a Christian. This is not the Christianity and the teachings of the Bible that I know.
Abbott responding to Lightfoot's comments by noting the real problem is President Biden. I quote here, Mayor Lightfoot is attacking Texas instead of addressing the real cause of the border crisis, Joe Biden. His inaction at our border is putting the lives of Texans at risk and is overwhelming our communities. Meanwhile, New York Mayor Eric Adams making good on his word on sending New Yorkers to the Texas border after Abbott bussed nearly 2,000 migrants to the Big Apple. A delegation of NYC officials are currently visiting the southern border. The mayor's office calling it a fact-finding mission.
Finally.
If you were advising him, Dana, this is something you would have advised a long time ago.
This is what I said on the very first day.
Well, I realize that's what I'm saying.
The very first day, it's like Eric Adams, Eric Adams, we have heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but we've heard that he has aspirations for higher office. So presumably you want to win outside of New York City, which means that you might have to leave Manhattan and go to the border and see it for yourself. So on the first day, I would have said, Governor, I understand what you're I understand your point of view, but I would like to see it for myself. Could I come down there? And maybe then he could say, you know what, why don't you and I together go see President Biden and Kamala Harris and talk to them about this issue and see if we can try to forge a compromise and be leaders. And instead, they just complained. They called him Greg Abbott all sorts of names. I actually don't understand how she says that Abbott is manufacturing a crisis. Is she ever going to get mad at Kamala Harris? She's the border czar. She said she was going to deal with the root causes. Nobody's mad at them. Now, Lori Lightfoot says, I do understand there are pressures that the people of Texas are feeling. Well, Abbott is just taking that pressure and trying to figure out a way to get some attention so that people will pay attention to the problem. And he's finally figured out a way to do that. I do not think he could pay for more helpful opposition than the far-left, high-crime mayor of Chicago. She is the one who is basically getting more of us to pay attention. And the final thing I would say is when it comes to Christianity, why isn't she mad at the coyotes? Why isn't she mad at the drug cartels? Why isn't she mad at any of that's the anti-Christian thing? Governor Abbott is providing them shelter, transportation, and ability to go to a place that's supposedly a sanctuary city. But I would say that if you're going to retweet it and you're going to wear the T-shirt that you're a sanctuary city, you better figure out a way to do that. And if you're not going to do it, then maybe try to be a part of the solution.
Jesse?
Well, if sending a few migrants on a bus to Chicago is unchristian, then Joe Biden's the Antichrist, Harold, because he has bussed gazillions of migrants all over the interior of the country. I got a report here. They dropped the Haitians, Venezuelans, and Cuban passengers off in Florida and New Jersey. The Central Americans nations are delivered to Tennessee, Massachusetts, Indiana, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, and then also to Dallas and Houston. They're also sending them. I mean, some of the illegals get lucky. They get to go to West Palm Beach. Others have to go to Newark, New Jersey. Some of them Biden buses to L.A., which is dangerous. Hopefully they don't go to any castings. And then he flies them to New York. So no supply chain problems with that. They're coming in on conveyor belts, basically. Look, the buses aren't even electric, Harold. So they're destroying the border and the ozone layer. They're all nice and air-conditioned, so if you live in California, the Democrats want you to turn off your air conditioning, but, keep it cranked up real low on the bus of illegals. You could get baby formula before you hop on the bus. Good luck finding it at Walgreens here. And, they're giving them free phones, too. So are they tracking them with their phones? No. Are they hacking the phones to get intel on the cartels? No. Anyone with a brain knows that's what you're supposed to do, but Biden only violates the privacy of American citizens. I want to warn the migrants going to Chicago. Chicago is MAGA country. They better be careful when they go out after midnight to get a sandwich. That's where the hate crimes happen. Also, don't go to any Bears games. What they will see on that field, nothing like anything they've seen in the Northern Triangle.
Your Honor, I mean, this talk about, it seems like it was a pretty shrewd move on the part of the governor to do this. Is it going to bring enough attention to perhaps maybe achieve something that Dana said in terms of getting them to go to the White House and say, this is how to be done differently, and here's how it should be done?
I think it's going to bring attention to it. Look, but the question that I have is, do these people realize how crazy they sound? Does Lori Lightfoot and Mayor Adams and the rest of them, but Lightfoot saying he's manufacturing a crisis. Well, you know what? Why don't you go down to the southern border and take a look at the crisis down there? It makes no sense. But will it result in something good? I think it may result in something good, because right now Mayor Lightfoot is looking for donations. She's looking for people to give her money so that she can take care of the illegals. And the bottom line is that, you could say that Abbott is being kind. He's saving the federal government money by spending $13 million and spending it on the transportation of these illegals. But the Christian thing really bothered me with Lori Lightfoot. And, the humor is great. But to say that he's unchristian because he's doing that, and the unchristian thing is the sex trafficking, it's the human trafficking, it's the rape trees, and I've seen them down there many times that I've gone down there, and it's also the placement of the artery of cartels within the nation that's planning on killing us with fentanyl. That's unchristian.
Should we do a show down there?
Yes,
and really
absolutely.
I mean, in all seriousness, just to
great
highlight,
idea.
I think it's something that.
Well, I'm going to say
it could be
yes now,
effective.
but then privately no. 'Cause that's what I do.
Only if we do it on horses.
Exactly. Mayor Lightfoot is so stupid because everybody knows there are no buses in the Bible. Where does she get this stupid analogy? But you have, you've lost when you come out swinging with, an anti-Christian insult when you never really mention Christianity as a benefit ever before, right? It's like she only uses it now. And what's not Christian is putting a sign outside your hotel saying no room at the inn when you've been boasting about how anybody could come to the inn and stay for free. And now when they come, you're like, I don't want them there. It's like your sanctuary, you got what you wanted. This is like me complaining after Dana giving me a case of wine, and I'm upset because I don't know where to put it.
Down your mouth.
Yes, exactly. But it does go back to this conversation. We have to reconcile two competing economic forces. This is where I start to talk like Harold. So you got to understand, we have two competing economic forces. We have mass migration, and we have a welfare state. If you want a welfare state, you got to ban immigration because the model isn't sustainable, right? It's not sustainable. Now, if you can make the services provided by the state only for the citizens, and then you can have immigration, but then the incentives disappear. How's that for my Harold?
Very good.
Thank you.
I took notes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.